I hope you are well. My name is Tanner, and today I'm going to talk to you about I am statements or affirmations. Now, I'm sure many of you have probably heard of affirmations. Maybe you have tried them, maybe you have not. Maybe you believe in them, and maybe you don't. But today I'm going to talk to you about why they are so important and how you can use them in your life to create a better blueprint for your life and a better life in general. So, first off, I want to talk about the phrase I am. And many people, if you don't believe it, it's important you do actually take this into consideration, what you are saying to yourself when you're saying I am, and how it is actually affecting you. Because, the words that follow I am, they follow you. Because it's part of your mind is hearing that. And you are actually programming part of your mind every time you say something with I am in it. So, for instance, if you make a mistake or something, you're like, oh man, I am so dumb, and I just deleted that out of my mind because I don't want that in my mind. But that, for an example, if you said something like that, right, I am so, and then something negative, then you are actually telling yourself, and this is part of your mind, the subconscious part of your mind, you're actually telling yourself that you are not smart, you're not capable, you are not blah, 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 right? And that is actually can have a very big impact on you. If you start saying that to yourself enough, you'll start to believe it. And even more so, maybe you'll start to make mistakes. Maybe you'll start to do things that you usually wouldn't do. And then you're like, oh man, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Why do I keep doing this? Well, you told yourself these things. And even if you were joking, this part of your mind, the subconscious part of your mind, does not understand those things. Let me kind of go into a little bit about the subconscious mind, just if you haven't heard anything about it. The subconscious part of your mind, or the unconscious part of your mind, is below your consciousness level. So it doesn't work on a level that we can actively see or feel, but actually, in a way, it kind of does, because every time you have to go to the bathroom, that's your subconscious mind giving you the urge to go to the bathroom. It controls all bodily functions, and even more than that, it actually runs programs for us to be able to do certain things throughout our life. So we have a driving program, a how to eat program, a brush my teeth program, going to the bathroom. And these programs are there so that we don't have to remember these things. We can just do them like a second nature. Because remember, the first time you learned to drive a car, it was very hard, right? But every time you drove, it became easier and easier because that program was getting developed. And then soon enough, now you may be even driving sometimes and then you realize you weren't even paying attention, or you were thinking about what you're going to be doing the next day, and you're multitasking, right? Because you have that program built into your mind. It became second nature. And actually, that is what's happening when you're saying I am statements to yourself. You're building a program to doubt yourself. You're building a program that's going to be telling yourself that you are not good enough, that you make mistakes, that you do these sort of things, depending on what you're telling yourself. And that's not something you want. If you're saying like, I am fat, then you're building a program in your subconscious mind to make sure that you are fat. So if you start eating healthier, oh, no. Your subconscious mind is like, no, we got a program for being fat. If we're losing weight, there's going to be some serious things. We're going to have to start drinking more. We're going to have to do something, increase our stress levels so that we gain that weight back. So it's very important you consider what you are saying when you say I am. And here's some tips to make it so those I am statements are actually even more powerful. And the great thing is that you can actually use those I am statements every day, every morning, every night, to be able to program yourself for good things, for amazing things, for things that you want in your life. So some tips for I am statements. Use the present tense. So don't say in the future I will be, Don't be like, in the future I'm going to be happy, right? Your subconscious mind will be like, oh yeah, in the future, okay? And the future is always a day away, right? The future is never today. And that's what you're telling yourself, that you are not healthy now. You're not happy now. But in the future, maybe you will, but that day never comes, because the future always becomes the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Because once the next day comes, that is the present tense then, right? So you want to do everything in the present tense now. So I am healthy. I am strong. And if you feel like you're lying to yourself, you can always say, I am building my health. I am building my strength every day. I am strong, I am capable. Those sorts of things. Now you want to avoid negatives too. So you don't want to be saying, I am not fat. I am not whatever, right? Because your subconscious mind doesn't really understand those negatives. And really what it's hearing is, I am fat. I am blah, blah, blah. So avoid those negatives. Use present tense and stay positive. And another way to avoid negatives is avoid those negative statements. If you're doing something wrong, don't beat yourself up for it. Don't attack yourself for it. You already did something wrong, right? That was punishment enough if you want to think of it that way. But really, you should be thinking of it that way, right? Every time you do something wrong, that is a new learning experience so that you can do something right the next time. And the way you can program yourself to go towards that positive end and to be doing something better, I am very smart. I am learning from my mistakes. I am moving forward. I am taking that action, and I will not let anything stop me. Well, I said not there. And I will continue to take this action until I get the life I want, right? And then you want to stay consistent, because staying consistent is very important, because it's just like with learning to drive a car. If you just went into try to drive a car for one day, maybe like an hour or something, and you didn't get it, and then you just gave up, do you think you know how to drive a car? No. The same thing goes for these I am statements. If you don't stay consistent with them, then you can't build the programs in your subconscious mind to run that positivity, to run, what you want to be doing in your life. And then you can, a nice trick is you can actually record these statements. So you don't have to say them every time unless you feel like it. So what I like to do is record these statements, and then you can play them in the car. You can play them actually as you're going to bed, and this is really important. If you play them as you're going to bed or when you're waking up, your subconscious mind, actually your brain just in general, is in more of a trance-like state, a hypnosis state when you're waking up, which essentially just means your brain is in like an alpha or theta wave brain state. So you're more susceptible to statements like these. And it's one of the best times you can do this, because it can actually cut out the amount of time it needs. Instead of using repetition, you can go straight in to reprogram your subconscious mind, and it can be a much quicker, much faster way to do it. So I highly recommend recording them and listening to them, in the mornings, at nights, when you're driving your car, or when you're in your car. Something that I like to do, and I get kind of loud in my car when I'm driving alone, is I like to just say positive statements. I am healthy. I am healthy. I am healthy. Or one that makes people feel very uncomfortable, I know I used to feel uncomfortable with it too, was I love you, Tanner. I love you, Tanner. I love you, Tanner. And notice how I do it 3 times? I think it does help when you repeat it multiple times, because that is imprinting on your subconscious mind, that repetition. And our subconscious minds are drawn to the familiar. So the more times you repeat something, the more times your subconscious mind is exposed to something, the more it will be drawn to it. So you want to, let's write this down here. So we want to use that repetition, right? We want to use repetition so we can program our minds to be positive naturally. So next time you are saying something to yourself, like if you make a mistake, or if you're doing something like that, don't say I am horrible, I am, stupid, I am blah, blah, blah. You don't want those things in your mind. You don't want that to be your program, so that every time something bad happens, or every time you feel anxious about something, or every time that something hard comes up, that thought comes to your head, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, blah, 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 right? We don't want that. No. You, or we as, I don't believe anyone does want something negative in their life, to be having those negative thoughts, right? That just doesn't make sense to me. So I can confidently say that we all want to have positivity in our life. We all want to be positive. We all want to be confident. We all want to be happy. And I can tell you, these statements have worked for me. So I used to very much dislike public speaking. I used to be scared of it. I used to tell myself I wasn't good at it, and I believed myself. And then every time I would hear my voice, like on the phone or in a recording, I'd be like, oh man, is that my voice? Wow, that does not sound good. And that actually stopped me from excelling in certain parts of my life, excelling in school, in presentations and anything like that, or from even just speaking up to my friends or other things like that, because I didn't have that confidence. And I had told myself, I had built a program that I was not good at those things. I told myself that I sounded bad, and I believed them. And that's what I don't want for you. I want you to know that you can actually change that. You can change that with I am statements. You can change that by altering the way you're speaking to yourself and then staying consistent with it, recording them, repeating them, avoiding those negatives, and using the present tense. So remember, the words that follow I am will follow you in life. And you have the choice to decide what's going to be following you in your life. Is it going to be a statement that, diminishes you and beats you down and abuses you? Or is it going to be a statement that empowers you and gives you the energy that you need? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. Please feel free to share with others. And if you are on YouTube right now, hit that like button or the subscribe button. Or if you're even on Facebook, hit the like. And leave a comment. If you disagree with this, I want to hear it. I want to hear why you disagree with this, and we can have a conversation. If you do agree with this and this was helpful for you, please leave a comment. It might encourage other people to take the time to watch this, and it might change their lives. You making that comment could change their lives. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Go out there, use those present tense statements, I am statements, to make yourself a better person, to make yourself have those positive programs in your mind so that you can excel at life. You can get all the things you want in life. You can start going public speaking if you want to, just like I did. Thank you, and have a good day.